Hi everyone, welcome back to my crafty desk. Sandra here at Blossom and Inspire. I am working on the 4 journals for my family members that I want to take with me on my trip. And I got to a certain point here and I thought I need to get you guys on here with me so that we can craft together. Plus I miss you. Anyways, I thought I was going to work, all the journals are going to be a little bit different, but the setup of the signatures are all the same. And I wanted to kind of, maybe let's just see where we're at right now. So what I've done is I'm just putting some stuff on the bird journal. I'm trying to figure out, I want to soften the cover up a little bit with lace, of course, why wouldn't I? So I have a piece of this here. I put that on the thing. I thought some of this yellow for the yellow bird, and I thought I'd just wrap that all the way around. I kind of like the way it looks in the back here. And I don't know that I'll do anything else back there, but I just really don't know until I get there. And then I found this piece of lace. I think this came off of a shirt, and I like the way it just draped down, and I'm getting the corners on. So mostly, I'm trying to figure that part out. Oh, and then also with this one, I have already punched the holes for my eyelet, and I thought, except I sewed it all in the middle on accident. I was thinking, wouldn't that be cute? I wonder if I could do that and then punch a hole in there and then put the eyelet through that. I wonder, would it work? I mean, let's just see. I don't know. Oh, get my finger out of the way. Good night. So I punched through all my threads, which is fine. Let me see. Got my handy dandy snips. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, thank you. And I'm gonna snip that off. And I'm gonna see if, I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna try. One-handed here. Who do I think I am? There we go. It's actually very easy to open. You know, it's supposed to be very easy to open. Let's see, let's go with a yellow eyelet. So I've got all the signatures sewed in except for one journal, because I said I would do that with you. Oh my gosh, and I'm still attached. Well, welcome to my madness. I'm just like, I was just doing all this stuff. I had a friend over hanging out with me, and she was, we were just hanging out for the day. I did not mean to cut that thread off, but oh well, too late now. And I just thought that would be kind of cute. I've never done this before. I'm sure it's been done, and let's see. I want to get it in that little hole. So my crocodile, the hole's nice and tight. I have a lot of layers here. Okay, I can't spit it out. So my friend came over to hang out with me today, and she just moved back to the area. And I'm like, okay, but I'm like, I have a ton of stuff I have to get done, right? So I said, so do you feel like crafting with me? She's like, sure. And I go, what do you want to do? She's like, I don't know. She goes, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm doing all kinds of stuff. And I need a bunch of jump rings. She goes, well, can I help you? And I was like, yeah, I have tons of jump rings that have to get attached. Do you want to do those? And she said, sure. So, oh my, I just can't, I mean, it's amazing how much work she was able to do for me, help me out. Like hours. She got hours done because she was here at 8:30 and then she left at 3:30 or 3. I mean, we had a lunch break in between, so, but still, that's a long time. Oh my gosh, I think I like that. It's kind of, you know, late to go back on it now, but let's see. All right, cover your ears. So I feel like there's still like a little bit of roughness. I always like to just hammer that in. So I'm so sorry, but I have to do it now or I'm going to forget. So 1, 2, 3. There. And I'm like, oh, and I might put something over it. I won't. I'll have a tie in there. I can't put anything over it because then I won't have a hole there. So I did get the pages sewn, and I did get the signatures sewed in, except for one, and that's what we're going to do. But before we do that, I'm just going to finish getting this eyelet set. The back, I'm not going to put anything on there. I think it's fine just like this. I think there's going to be a tie on there. Go in there. Go in there, bad boy. Ouch. This is like the hardest thing to do for me. So that's cute. Okay, so, and then this lace is gonna go down here like this, and then that other one's gonna go like this on the side, and then this one's gonna come down right here, and I'm not doing that right this second. I just have to remember. So if I do it on the video like that, then if I forget, I can just watch this video if I haven't done it yet, and I can see what I've done. But I want to get this guy, get his little squished in there. So let's do that. So normally I like to put the eyelets in before I sew the signatures in. However, going to tell you, on these ones here, I didn't do it because the way I made these journal covers, and I used a lot of just tissue paper and Mod Podge on these envelopes, and I left them rough, and then I was inking them. I wasn't like super impressed with all the edges, and so I'm working with that, and I don't want to have the eyelet in it already in case I want to do something different. All right, another little pounding. One moment. So 1, 2, 3. There we go. Let's see. And I think I'm safe to close these now. So I'm going to put those up there now. Up there. I'm going to take this off my desk and out of the way. One sec. I still need it for other journals, but not right this moment. Here's my little needle with my thread. I was sewing to sew that on there. There's green stuff everywhere. That's okay. Just goes with it. Let's do this. So let's go through this one and I can show you what I've done. And then I'll grab the journal. Let me put these on the inside. And I'll grab the journal that we need to sew and we'll do it. We'll sew it. So I did a 5-hole pamphlet stitch and I'm going to put stuff on the sides of all of them. And I did that 5-hole pamphlet stitch because I really liked it when we did it on the flip-flop flappy envelope journal. That was the first time I've ever done it, and I really liked it. So let's open this up. So every journal is laid out the same. I put a little bit of lace down right here. I had to splice it right here because I already have these pockets in here, and I wanted to get that lace underneath it. And then I sewed the journal in. And then I just brought the lace around the edge, and I glued it down on here, and I liked doing that also on a couple of journals that I've made. I feel like it just gives it a little bit more structure, especially when my covers are, it's all paper, you know, it's heavy duty, but it's paper. I did get the corners put on, not all of them, but this one I did. So I sewed around the page there, like I said I was going to, and I do have threads everywhere. And then there's this. I decided what I want to do on here, and I don't know which one I'm going to use, but I'm going to put a ruffle on those on both sides. So I have some ruffles pulled out. That's for decorating though. We're not decorating right now. Got my papers. I've got my little guy sewed here with the little bows and the digi. And even though this one was the only one with its digi kit that I actually had paint on the other side as well, I still did some stenciling, except for I did it while it was on here, so it went over. We'll address that later. I don't know. I don't know yet what I'm going to do. I'm not too concerned about it. There's that one. Let's see. So I like how it came out. I feel like it's got, see, that 5-hole pamphlet stitch just tightens it up just that little bit more. Like, I don't feel like my journals are falling apart. There's 12 people out there that have journals that I've made. You can tell me, do you feel like they're falling apart? Some are older made than the other ones, but I don't think any of them have the 5-hole pamphlet stitch. I think they all have the 3-hole. I feel like there's a big difference, and I like it. I like it. And then, oh, I did take lace, and I put it around the wallpaper, glued it on before I sewed it into the signature. And I did that because this is old wallpaper. This one's not, this has a different texture, but the other ones are like, I just didn't want it to, once I sew it in, I didn't want it to be able to just tear out. Do you know what I mean? So I put that lace on there just to give it some extra oomph. And there's that, and then there's the middle. And then I left these long. I'm gonna go ahead and put charms on them for my families. You know, and then there's that, and then here's the back. And it's the same thing, just going all the way through. Did the stenciling. I've got all my little layers going on. I'm really liking this, and it's so cute, don't you think? It's so cute. I like that. That's fun. So that's that, and I got to do that. Let me catch you up because I'm gonna do this one also probably. I mean, I can do it on camera if you want me to, but sometimes I get mixed up when I'm showing you different journals. Although this is not a start to finish. I can just relax. Mostly I'm doing them off camera because I have to work faster. But this is the one, the timeless one. So this is, I can show you. So this is one of the ones where I thought I wasn't loving, so I don't know if you can see. So I wasn't loving how my edges were. I've got Mod Podge, I've got paint. It just, I mean, it's okay. I just, when I laid the paper down, I wish I didn't have, like, I can see the paper edge right there, and I think that's what I'm not liking. I wish I would have pulled it all the way over, and maybe I did. I don't know what I did, but there's just things, you know, you learn as you go. Then as I'm putting the gesso on there, it was coming in with the creams and the different things, and I think I did some inking on here. It's not looking vintage and inked everywhere to me. Like, to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, it looks like it's dirty. It's not dirty, but so I don't like it like that. I'm going to address that. So these are going to come down and cover that. So I did the same thing, and then I have my timeless thing, and that was just my timeless thing, my journal, my topper, which this is very thin. It's just doily, paper doily. So I'm going to be putting a sealant on that. It'll give it a little bit more, it'll make it feel a little bit more like a plasticky, leathery type feel. So, but it'll be more protected. And I thought that's fine like that, but I wasn't liking these edges. See, I can see the envelope too, and I'm like, I'm over it. What am I gonna do? So I thought, I went and found this is at the bottom of a different wedding dress that I've had for a while, and the bottom of it was, you know, like this, and it's got this little bow. So I was like, I'm just gonna go with it. So I went and the wedding dress is hanging up over on a hangy thing, and I just put the journal in there, and I tucked it up underneath it, and I thought, okay, I like that. So this is gonna be up, right? And then I'm gonna put this over on top like that, so that little bit can show. So perfect, right? Right. I talk like that all the time to my husband. He thinks I'm asking him, and he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm saying right as in, like, yeah, aren't you with me? Are you with me, right? So then I put this here. I mean, we're not newlyweds by any means. You think by now he would know that I talk in circles, and he's got to run with me, got to run with it. And I thought, I'm just going to do that. So that's as far as I've gotten with this one. And I want to punch the eyelet through this. That's how I'm going to do with this one. So I'm keeping that together for a minute. I've got that part figured out for that one. I've got the little birdie one done. This is the other one that I've done, and I got the signature sewed into. So again, same thing. I'm going to have some lace that goes down the side here. I'm just not sure what I want to do. But I have this topper, and I have to say, I'm just not loving my, I'm not loving my choice. So I think it has potential, but I'm not feeling it, and maybe it's because this thing won't stay down. Okay, this is where I first brought this one, and I thought maybe I just need to bring this down more and just drop this lace on here, let the tool go over that. I mean, and that can go all the way around if I want. But then I thought, let me just hold that down for a minute. And then, but what if I pulled it down further like I did just here, because before I had it up higher. And then I took some of it up here and just laid it down up on the top and let some of that tulle go up over the bird. I just feel like it's still really empty up there. Yeah, I'm not liking that. I don't know. I was trying to save that bird. Maybe I just need to let go of the bird. No, I like the bird. See, I like it now. I like it like that. This is going to be, I have to figure something out. I might just, I don't know, make a new topper at this point. I don't think I want to get a new journal out, but I'll get a new topper. So this is the one that we're working on. Let's get it sewn in. I have to say, oh yeah, I also wanted to show you this on this butterfly one. Sorry. Back to the butterfly. So I have these metal things, and I thought maybe it just needs like a little bit more. It's got black on the butterfly. It's got the black on the bird. Maybe I can just pull that in and put like a little thing there, or I can put it, I mean, I have that saying there, so I kind of took that away from myself. Here's one that I painted. I had more here. I don't know what to do with them. Here's some that I painted with, I never finished it with chalk paint. Have you used chalk paint ever for like furniture redos or anything? I use it on these because they're metal, and I wanted a paint that was going to stick, so I used chalk paint. And so I thought, is that too blendy? Don't you know? That one's definitely too, I didn't like that color. I have different colored chalk paints. Maybe I could do that. I don't know. So, I don't know. I haven't figured it out. I don't know. That one I just don't know. So then I have this guy. This goes with, who does this go with? This goes with the bird. So I still have this one, and so these corners, they look fine to me. This whole thing, and so maybe it's the tissue paper, like the thinner the tissue paper. Oh, I'm just terrorizing that to no end. Maybe it's the tissue paper. I think if I use a thicker tissue paper, like this one was thicker, maybe that's why. And I put it on different. See, I don't see the seam. I think that's when I realized, oh, I need to wrap it all the way around. Yeah, and okay, so I have its bag and stuff right here. Let's take that out. And I have, so the first thing I did here is, let's move everything out of my way. I'm just like on top of myself here. And we'll get these over here. We'll just put them right there. We don't need the scissors out for this at the moment. We'll put those in there and that in there. So anyhow, my friend came over and she helped me, and she put so many jump rings on. Wasn't that so nice of her? And it took all day long. Can you imagine? Here I'm thinking, oh, an hour a day, and that's only one more part. So thank God, thank God she came over. So I took my lace, like I said, I just put it on the middle here. What I did is I went down to the middle. I'm gonna have to get this in before I sew the signature. So there's my crease line there. And I just put some of this, loving this bottle. And I think, Kat, I think you actually told me a long time ago, and I'm sure other people have as well, to get the Sugar Bell bottle. And I was like, I've already tried it. But then I went and found it, and I thought, you know what, I haven't used it in so long. I wonder if that's why I didn't. So thank you, Kat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody. I just appreciate all the help. And sometimes you just have to keep hearing it a couple of times, more than one person. You know, like, okay, well, if everybody is saying this and they have issues and they're using them and it's working, then maybe you just got to give it another shot, right? It's like that vegetable that nobody likes, but maybe it just was cooked a different, you know, not the right way for you. I'm only saying that because I grew up, my mom, we only had canned vegetables. And when I say canned vegetables, I mean like the grocery store in a tin can. So I was not I only liked a couple of vegetables because I didn't like the taste. I only liked, which is really weird. I did not like peas. They were mushy and weird and gross. And so I never ate them. I couldn't stand them, and I'd get in trouble and I'd have to eat them. And so, I think my dad liked them, or somebody liked them, so one of the adults liked them, so we had them a lot. And I was like, oh, and I remember, so I had to eat them. I was not allowed to leave the table, so I thought, okay, well, you know, they're round, so I'll just swallow them. So that's how I ate my peas when I was a kid, and I got in trouble for that, which I don't know why. It still went in, but anyhow, so I swallowed my peas whole, and I was always really happy when I had this one aunt that would come over, and she was a vegetarian, and so she would walk in the kitchen whenever we were eating peas, and as soon as she knew that's what we were, well, she always came in anyways, but as soon as she's seen that we had peas on the table, she always walked right up to me, and she would just scoop with spoonfuls. She would scoop them into her mouth as fast as she could and eat and walk away before my parents came in. Oh God, what a wonderful memory. I forgot all about that. But anyhow, I was saying that because, so my husband, you know, he grew up, they garden, and so he grew up eating everything fresh, and he's like, oh my gosh, you have to eat these peas. I was like, no, I don't, and please don't ever offer that to me again. That's disgusting. Oh my gosh, they're so good. And come to find out, I don't just like the fresh peas, but I also like the frozen. If they're frozen, I can eat them, especially if they're the sweet ones. But not those ones in the tin can. And that's so gross. My husband can eat those, and he will eat. Oh, I mean, so sorry if you can do this too, but it's just so gross to me. Like, only because I'm not a pea lover. But he'll eat. So I just snipped that because I had already glued these down, and if I keep that over it, then it's gonna interfere with this whole tuck part. I mean, it'd still be a pocket, but I wanted it to be a tuck. Yeah, he'll just open the can and eat them like cold, like right out of the can. Like, open the can, get a spoon. The can is his bowl. Nope. So I'm out on that one. Okay, so I'm gonna let that one just dry in there for a minute, and I don't want those to be stuck down. I'll set that aside. So the next thing I'm going to do is, oh my gosh, I have to take everything out of here. Hope I remember where I put everything. Like, I guess again, I can watch that video. So this is the one I pulled for this. I'm gonna put these on there. So I'm gonna set that aside. And then I'm going to take everything out of here. I know I'm not gonna remember. You guys are gonna have to remind me. I can't sew the signature in with all this stuff in here. I will not be able to. Oh, see here, see that paper? Like it's just more papery. Maybe it's in my mind, but I can show you how I did that thing. I can show you. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get all this stuff out, and I've tried doing it where you put it in a pile. I tried writing down notes where I kept track of everything, and you know, honestly, I just don't remember stuff. So that's just gonna be what it is as we get there. Suppose I could have put them in a different book, but you know, it takes time. Let's see, I'm gonna take this signature. Now I'm gonna open it up and get my pages laid out the way I like them. This does take me, I watch people do it so easy. They just open it up and they just move things around. I'm not that person. I'm 100% not that person. So I do it like in sections. I know, so I know this, I want this one inside here, and I want everything to be as close to like centering with each other. I find it easiest for me when I'm sewing, and I do like fun different pages, different places, but for the most part, this is what I find to be the easiest. And then I'm gonna stick that in there, and I'm gonna move this one to, oops, gathering all my pieces, just kind of getting that right there as close as I can the way I like it. So now that part's done. This one, I think I'm gonna do this, getting my bear, so that my bear's right in the middle. I just want him to be very happy there. There's my jelly print right there. Okay, and then this colored one here, the darker tone of those oranges. Oh my gosh, peach, tangerine, whatever the color it is. Melon, is it like a, well, why do they call melon? There's like a cantaloupe. That's what I'm trying to think of. Not melon, cantaloupe. My cantaloupe paper. Cantaloupe sounds good right now. It does sound good. So I'm gonna get this. Anyhow, my friend, her name's Janet. So Janet, when she was here today, I said, hey, you should just come and spend the night some night, and then we can just watch a movie. And I was thinking, I wonder if, I don't think Jamie knows Janet, because Janet moved away such a long time ago, and Janet's older than Jamie. Jamie's so young. Jamie's only in her 40s. She's like, I'm not young. I'm like, oh yeah. I remember when I was in my 40s and people told me that, and that's what I said. But no, trust me, Jamie, you're young. You're just a baby. Beautiful little baby. But anyways, Janet's in her 50s too. And I was like, we should just have like a slumber party. I know that Janet and Jamie would get along, but how do you, like, hey people, we're in our 40s and 50s now, so let's just make new friendships, and let's at one time let's just have a sleepover together. I wonder if they would do it. So I did take these, and I actually did trim them. So normally I just leave the laces out, but these ones I wanted to trim down. So I'm gonna do that. Isn't that wonderful? Oh my gosh. No struggle. And it's like usually I'm like, ow, ow. Get my little crumbs. And then I'm gonna go ahead and push those back. So I just took the lace, and I actually opened up, so you can see how it's like poofy right there. I actually opened it up, laid it down, and then I put the lace on so that when I folded it, it gave me a little bit of give. I don't know if I needed to do that, but it felt right. And put my paper in there. That one, and then that one, and then this one. And then this goes into the center of this here, if I can find it. Just like that. Oh my gosh, all right, there we go. And that's gonna go like that. And then that's already done, so I'm gonna stick, whoops, get it right there, and then you know, they're gonna shift a little bit. I know that. I just know that, but that's okay. Now I'm gonna take it and put it in here. And since it's just one signature and it's not too terribly fat, I'm gonna go. So what I'm doing is I'm just trying to get it like an even spacing at the bottom and at the top. And it's not gonna be perfect because no such thing, I don't think. So I'm not gonna try for something that's not real. And I'm going to take my ruler and I'm gonna just shove it down in there. And I have my clips right here. I need to get bigger clips. These clips actually hurt my hands to open. Ouch. This is probably the most painful part. Whoops, painful part, sorry. my letters got mixed up, sorry. Okay, oh my gosh. And I'll do that one. And then, so you can already see, like if you look down in there, some of my paper shifted a little bit, but that's okay. They're pretty much in there where they need to be. And this is just gonna help me hold it down, hold everything down where I want it while I sew it in. And I already have my thread, so I used just regular, you know, needlepoint threads and flossing things. I waxed it. I have a little wax thingy. I just ran my threads through. I've done that on a video before, so I already have it put away. I'm sorry. I didn't know if I was going to do this video today or not. But I have a little bit of time left before my next adventure for the day. And I thought I'd get a video done. I'm trying to stay ahead of the game. I finally got caught up, and I finally got caught up with stuff, and I wanted to stay ahead. Now, I was using this, so I bought these, and these are so pointy. I already stabbed myself with it, and it hurt. But the handles, I knew it was going to be. So the handle, it's too, I can't, whoops. I'm not able to shove it through, even though this is so sharp, because the handle's so small. So I'm using this right here instead. I got it at a yard sale because the handle's bigger. I wish I could put this handle on this thing. So all I'm gonna do, and now let me tell you, I did all the other three like nothing, and I got all the holes right on the seam. They went through. My sewing was awesome. It was great. So let's see if it's. I just get nervous on here. I think because I'm holding it different, so I'm trying to show you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold it like this. I don't think you're going to see what I'm doing. What I'm doing, though, is I'm taking my tool and I'm poking it right here, and I'm like twisting it, if I have to, pushing it through. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to make a hole here, and then I'm going to make a hole here. I want to be on the, since I have this, I know I have short pages in here, I want to make a hole here, and the same thing down here. I don't care if I get close to this page, that's fine, as long as it's down in here. And then I will take from that distance, so then this piece, this middle piece, I'm going to use as my other distance. So I have a middle here, I'm going to put one here. So distance halfway between here and this hole. Does that make sense? Right there. I'm going to make this hole really quick. So I'm going to close my book a little bit, and I'm going to just shove it through. I just feel like I'm going to mess this up. Hold on 1 second. So this thing, I don't find that handy for me, but I'm going to try it to just, whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to make that, slam that down. I'm going to try just to get my holes in there. So I'm just going to push it down, one there. Like I said, I'm going to come, there's my head in there, sorry. I'm going to put one here. I'm going to go up just a little bit here. Right there. I'm going to put one down here. And then you can see I've got my 3 holes, and then I'm just going to go the difference between here and here, eyeballing it. It's about right there for me. And then same thing down here, right there. Now, let's just see how well we did. This thing I bought on Amazon. I want to say it was around 40 bucks, 40 or 50 bucks. It didn't come with a tool, a pokey thing, and that base is really long, so this does not fit using that thing. This will, but I have to lay it on top of here, and I can't see what I'm doing. So I don't think I would buy that again. I think I was fine with just using my book, or I don't know. I think it's fine. It does its job. So let me see if my holes, see, I can fill them. They're on the seam. So now I'm going to stick this thing through and make my holes bigger. Because remember last time when I had those little skinny holes? Oh my gosh. I can't believe I thought I was going to have a nervous breakdown with that journal. That was crazy. And because I have to come through every hole, well, not every hole, I have to come through 3 of the holes twice. I want to make sure I can get my needle through. See, that one ended up not folding on the seam because you know what? Because I'm doing it on the thing. Not all my other books perfect. This is the hardest. It's so hard on your hands, isn't it? So worth it. It's like this kind of pain is worth it. Okay. Let me get the sharp tools put away real quick. There we go. Got to my needle. I already have this. I did 3 times the length, a little bit extra because it's 5 holes and I want to have dangles. So I'm going to start in the middle. You know what I didn't do? I didn't make sure that everything was going the right way. Should I do that before I sew it in? I mean, I already made the holes, but still. Was that the right way? I think so. I don't know. I can't tell from this angle. That's the right way. That's cool. Everything else is good. Okay, well, so good so far. We'll know at the other end. So there's those papers, those little poem papers that I put in there. It has like a little saying. That might be upside down. If that's the case, and you can't read it, which I don't think that would matter. I can always put something over it. So starting in the middle for the 5-hole punch or 5-hole stitch. I'm doing it off memory, and I think I'm doing it right. So I'm going to go through the middle and just leaving myself a tail. And if I knew how to attach it to that paper clip where the paper clip braces it without getting it stuck to the paper clip, I would totally use that because I think that's very helpful, but I am unable to figure that out. I'm going to come up to the second from the top hole and go right through my little thing there and then grab that. I'm going to go up to the top hole and push it through there, just like so. Just like, I feel like I'm like lacing a shoe or something. And then I'm going to come back down to that second from the top hole, and I'm going to go in through the out hole, just like so. And give it a tug, and then I'm going to give this one a tug right here too, just to keep that tight. And then I'm going to skip the middle hole, skip the middle one, and I'm going to go down to the second to the last hole. I hope that made sense. And then I'm going to come to then I'm at the bottom, the last hole down here. I'm going to go in that one. So far, so good, huh? Okay, I'm off camera. Oh my gosh, I'm all over the board here. And then pull that, give that a tug. Make sure everything's staying nice and snuggy, tuggy, snug. And then I'm going to come back down to that second from the bottom hole and go back in there. And I will show you what I like to do is I can see where the direction is, so I kind of stay to the other side of it. Like I feel like, do you see what I'm saying? And I'm going to go in on this side. I'm going to stay close to that. And I do that on the back side too, and that has helped me so far to not split my threads. I mean, I don't know if there's like an exact science to this, but so far that's working. Let me get some thread on there. And now that's the last one that I have to do for the up and downs. Now I'm going to come back into the middle because that's where I want to end up to do my knot. And I'm going to go same thing. I'm going to go in here. Look at that. Except I went on the opposite side. I want to be on the other side. So I have a thread. Actually, I'm going to take these off. That'll make my life easier. I don't need any. No longer are they needed. And now we'll have the true reveal if I did anything upside down. Gosh. Wouldn't be the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last time if I did it So let's see, needle in. So what I want to do is I want this thread's underneath, and I want this one on top on the other side. So let me see. Okay, like so. See, and then there's that thread. Give it a little tug. I'm gonna just double check right now. This is where I'm gonna go back here and see, is everybody nice and tight? Like that doesn't feel very tight. That feels good. I don't want to tug too much because it will pull them, but let's see. Yeah, pretty good like that. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, every once in a while I have to go in there and I have to like pull a little thing and then pull a little piece and just kind of pull it together. Anyone that's sewn a signature and they may know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna run it back under this way. I'm gonna keep it on that needle because it made it easier. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with this one. I'm gonna take it up and around, and it'll end up on its same side that it was, and that's just gonna give me some tension to pull against. There we go, see? Take this needle off, but more than that, so I can pull it that way, but it gives me something to pull against and brace besides just the paper, besides just the signature. Okay, and I'm gonna give it some ties here. 3 knots I think are sufficient. Now let's see which way's top. Nope, that's upside down anyways right there. Okay, let's see. We're gonna open it up and just check it. And there we have our journal. And I'm gonna get this needle put up here real quick. There we go. And this is the one I was talking about. Okay, the flower's up there, that's fine. That's good and good. And I don't think anything else was directional except for like I wanted that guy on the front. That's perfect. Beautiful. I mean, I do have that pocket that I already put in there, so yep, that's fine. That's fine. So we'll see. If that pocket's upside down, that would not be great, but there, yay. I did it. Oh goodness, that's another reason why I don't like to put my stuff in before I sew it in, because it's kind of hard to take that back. There we go. And we have all 4 signatures are sewn in. Oh, hallelujah. I'm so excited. But now while we're at it, I'll go ahead and put these little corners on if you want to see me how I do that. I'm going to use my Ultimate, the Crafter's Pick, because it adheres to metals, plastic, glass, and more. And I have different elements here, and I want to make sure they're going to stay. And I struggle with these as it is. So I'm going to just squeeze my bottle, grab some glue on my finger. This is how I do it. I find it to be the easiest. I also like to have a baby wipe, well, one that's wet. This is dry, to wipe my fingers off on. And I'm just going to put some on there. I'm going to put it on the edge and here, and even with that little tiny bit, it's still going to squeeze out, but that's all right. And I got way too much glue, so I'm going to waste it because I don't need it messing around with me. I'm going to stick my little, get that fuzzy off, and then put my little corner on there, and then I'm using these pliers, which have the soft thing here, so I'm not like, I still pinch it, but it's not gonna, I don't know. I like them. They have like that big flat base. So I'm gonna just take this one and pinch it and kind of push it in and pinch it. And mine are always lumpy and bumpy. Anybody that's got a journal from me that with these on there, you know that. You already know it. There's a Sandra secret. Okay, I know I can't be the only one. So when I pinch the sides, I can get those in, and then I'm always like, oh, I gotta pinch the middle because I want that down, but then it squishes that piece out. So when that happens, I just go ahead and give it like whatever, and I just take my pliers and I just try to hold this piece right here, and I push on that to get that back down in there, and then this one right here. I have literally pushed and pulled on this to the point where I ripped the whole corner of my my paper, or my journal, my paper. Well, it is paper, you know, it's like, I have like tore the corner off. And then I was like, I cried. No, I was kidding. I was just like so upset. I was like, what the heck? Why would I do that? Why am I so rough? But then I just went with it, and I figured out how to, another way to add things to it. So there's fabric and lace and other paper that we just build on it and layer, and then we just make it work. So if that happens to you, don't worry. Don't worry. You just have to change your course a little bit. That's it, you know. And I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to change my course, but you know what? If you are, if you're on the ocean and you're driving and you have a course and then there's an iceberg, I mean, you probably want to change course, right? You just got to do it. Because if you don't, we all know what happens. Sorry, that probably wasn't a good analogy. I'm tired. So I've actually been up since 2:30 in the morning. It is now 4:30. I'm not a napper, so I don't take naps. I don't, it's not that I don't, well, I kind of don't want to. I don't know. I'm not a napper. And now we're going to be going to an event in our town. So we're actually going to go out to dinner. So there's a few people in town. They're putting on a benefit, I think. Is it a benefit? An appreciation dinner for the volunteer firefighters. I think the whole town's, it's for the whole town, but they're doing it like that's who they're honoring them or something like that. And so we're going to that. My husband's a volunteer firefighter. We're going to that. If he wasn't a volunteer firefighter, we would still be going. We would just be going as part of the town support. You know, support your local firefighters, thingamajig, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, so we have these t-shirts, and I believe these t-shirts for the wives, I think, maybe I could be wrong, but I think it's from one of the kids in school, maybe a senior, maybe it was a senior part of a senior project, or just something. I don't know. I think that's what it is. I don't know. Nobody tells me anything. I just get whatever my husband tells me. And so all the women, all the wives get these shirts, and they are t-shirts, and they're, I don't know, they must be like unisex or men's t-shirts, but so I don't wear t-shirts because they don't fit me right. I don't like high collars because I can't stand the filling of them up high. Plus, this is going to be a little TMI for you guys. I'm very, I got a lot going on the top shelf there. So, and they are, you know, they're old girls. They're not young. They're not young. I mean, even with the best, I don't know, what do you call it? The best setup that I can find for them. They still, I mean, they don't look like they're in their 20s or 30s or even in their 40s, if you catch my drift. Anyhow, so the last thing I want to wear is a t-shirt with a high collar, especially one that's too big. So I lost all this weight, and I've lost it. Like, it's been like, I don't know, 2 years now that I've lost so much weight, almost 2 years. So I wear size medium in women's, sometimes small, even with all that going on, because I guess I just have I'm short, you know, I don't have a big, I'm not that, I'm like, I don't know, I'm oddly shaped. So, so I put this shirt on, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what size is this shirt? My husband, I look at it, and it's an extra large. I'm like, you brought me home an extra large, like it's a man's t-shirt. When it says unisex, it's not unisex, it's men's. Because if it's unisex, it has to fit the man too. So the only way to fit the man is if it's a man's shirt. Like, I'm not stupid. I know that's what they're doing. And so I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, literally, this t-shirt came down to the middle of my thighs. Well, even a little bit lower. Like, I literally could look like I was wearing a bag, like a dress. And I thought, and the sleeves. So the seam, you know, the seam that goes on your, like by your shoulder, you know, where it cuts off to a sleeve, that seam was down past my shoulder. And so the sleeve was now down to my elbow. It's a t-shirt. And I was like, what the heck? What am I going to do? My friend's like, well, you're crafty. Just fix it. And I'm like, you know what? That's just because somebody's crafty doesn't mean they can do anything. I can't sew. I don't know what I'm doing. So I thought, what am I going to do? That's like telling somebody, like, oh, you paint, you know, do the Mona Lisa or something. Like, what's wrong with people? So I'm like, quit trying to be helpful when I'm having a dramatic moment. So anyhow, I went to the gym, and I was telling my trainer, I was like, I just feel bad because I feel like I need to wear this shirt, but I just can't do it. I'm like, it's not even a matter of me like just losing all this weight and and I don't want to wear this big bag, but I literally felt so frumpy and dumpy in it. And so I asked one of my friends, I was like, so what do I do? And she's like, you wear this shirt, period. I'm like, you would not wear this shirt if it looked like this on you. And she's like, yes, I would. I would do it to support my husband. I'm like, stop. I'm like, I'm literally gonna cry right now. You make me feel like I just wish that I would come down with the flu or something so I could get out of it. She goes, oh, stop being so dramatic. So anyhow, I was telling my trainer about this shirt, and she goes, well, she gave me some tips on how to cut it, and she goes, and then also she goes, have you thought about maybe watching a YouTube video? Have you thought about watching a YouTube video? They've got all kinds of YouTube videos for anything if you want to do something. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a really great idea. Thank you. So I was like, I only have one t-shirt to do this to, so what if I mess it up? So what do? I run upstairs while my husband's gone, and I grab 2 of his t-shirts out of, because he's got so many t-shirts, and so I took 2 of his work t-shirts. I'm telling you, he's got probably 50. So I took 2 of them, and I brought them down to my craft room so I could practice different cuts, and I did it. I cut my t-shirt. So I have a before picture of like how frumpy dumpy I am, but I took the stupid picture in my bathroom, and I don't want my bathroom all over the place. And then I took a picture, and then I have the new t-shirt, and I actually like it. I actually like it. So anyways, I just want to share that story with you. So here we go. I've got my 2 journals done. I mean, not my 2 journals. I got all 4 journals sewed in. I got the corners punched in there for you. I told you I wanted to do that with you. Sorry, this wasn't a super crafty video. It was mostly me just being dramatic. But I gotta go because we gotta leave for dinner in like 15 minutes, and I want to wash the glue off my hands and change into my funky t-shirt. So thanks for hanging out with me, my friends. I really appreciate you. I enjoy you so much. Thank you so much. Let's see. I think that's about it. So enjoy all your moments, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.